We have a grab bag of Taylor Swift-related news to get to now. So obviously there was good news for Taylor over the weekend. Her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs, will be in the Super Bowl. My Detroit Lions will not be in the Super Bowl. They lost their game last week in quite devastating last-minute fashion. They blew a massive lead, which was kind of sad. But here we are. Good news for Taylor. I know everybody's speculating, say he wins, the team wins, then they do the engagement, then they have a baby and they usher in a new wave of peace and prosperity. A massive baby boom will take hold of the U.S. That's what I saw some conservatives saying, more of the pro-family people, they could set a good example.
Sure.
The other corners of the online right saying no. Have you heard this before? Taylor Swift is a PSY-OP to get you to support Joe Biden, I guess, because she did endorse him in 2020. And they're just waiting for the right moment to reprogram America to support the Biden agenda.
Right. So the idea being that the combined fame and attention that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting is going to...
is fake. Because it was
It's
arranged by
designed to be a kind of a supernova of attention that they can then use to pivot to an endorsement of Joe Biden. Now, apparently, this is not something that's completely disattenuated from the Biden White House. The New York Times reported that Gavin Newsom, a top Biden surrogate, all but begged Ms. Swift to become more involved in Mr. Biden's campaign when he spoke to reporters after a Republican primary debate in September. He said then, quote, Taylor Swift stands tall and unique. What she was able to accomplish just in getting young people activated to consider that they have a voice, that they should have a choice in the next election, I think is profoundly powerful. And apparently, the strategy that says Taylor Swift can use her 279 million Instagram followers to reach a broad young audience is so chatted about that social media people applying to social media positions at the White House have been asked not to bring up the Taylor Swift strategy because they've heard it so many times. Everyone who's applying for jobs is basically saying, hire me because I have this idea about Taylor Swift.
So one of the people going in on the PSY-OP argument, Vivek Ramaswamy, tweeted, I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl next month, and I wonder if there's a major presidential endorsement coming from an artificially, culturally propped up couple this fall. Just some wild speculation over here. Let's see how it ages over the next 8 months. So I guess the winner of the Super Bowl has already been determined.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is really silly.
It's very silly.
The Chiefs have been winners. They already won the Super Bowl.
Well, it's a long. They had to set that up earlier to make it seem plausible this time.
It's not conspiratorial to pick a team that's likely to do well because it has historically, in recent history, done very well. And I was saying this to a football watching friend of mine. This is ridiculous. The Kelces are extremely popular on their own. The brother who plays for the Eagles, they have a podcast together. People really like their family, their dynamic. They have a holiday album, 2 holiday albums actually that they've put out. I mean, they're kind of a cultural phenomenon in and of themselves.
Well, but all arranged by the CIA. I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding.
Is already enormously popular on her own. The idea that there's a margin of benefit from fabricating the two of them being together and then doing an announcement is outrageous and ridiculous.
Well, I started looking on Twitter for commentary when we were going to talk about this on the Taylor Swift PSY-OP issue. So I searched for Taylor Swift, and I got back an answer that something had gone wrong on Twitter, which, of course, only deepened my belief in whatever the conspiracy is. No, in fact, Twitter, you tell me, Twitter shut down searches for Taylor Swift due to an AI-generated fake pornographic images of her, AI-generated, and they took action to stop that.
Yes, so our Friday team covered this story in more detail, but as of Saturday, and as of today, frankly, this is reporting from Variety, Taylor Swift returns an error message that says, something went wrong, try reloading. The reason is because there are these AI-generated pornographic images that were apparently so widespread on Twitter that this was the solution. Now, if you search for anything else, like Taylor Swift, AI, whatever, if you break up the Taylor Swift with other kinds of words, you can still conduct a search on Twitter. This was a last-minute move attempting to stop the dissemination of these kinds of images, which have gotten to a place where I think they're really plausible. They look really real.
Yeah, look, I have no problem. Obviously, I support the platforms taking taking steps against these kinds of images. You were saying that the government also weighed in?
Yes. So White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about this issue, and she responded, quote, "We are alarmed by the reports of the circulation of images that you had just laid out. There should be legislation, obviously, to deal with this issue." She got some pushback online about that, saying the White House is willing to respond more quickly to an AI porn scandal about Taylor Swift than it is willing to respond to the ICJ's interim decisions on genocide or any other big ticket issues. The video of Palestinians waving white flags, being shot in cold blood, all of these things the White House has responded. I cannot comment. I have not looked into that. They have a response here on this Taylor Swift story, which isn't to minimize the relevance of the Taylor Swift story, but there is a certain...
Yeah. Again, I'm absolutely in support of the platforms taking action against such content on their own. I don't know that I would support legislation prohibiting it, or, if, frankly...
You mean making pornography with AI-generated images of real people?
I think it might violate the First Amendment, frankly.
That's interesting. I mean, in Europe, they have much more respect for privacy rights. You have the right to disappear. You have the right for your information to be taken down off the internet. And I frankly do think that a lot of those privacy rights are one of the best things that Europe has as it compares how it handles some First Amendment adjacent issues as compared to the United States of America. I don't see what the public benefit would be in allowing folks to make misrepresentations of people's behavior using technology that could not have been contemplated by the founders or anybody else. Speech there are many different kinds of speech that are not protected, including libel, as Donald Trump recently discovered as he's been forced to pay this multi-million-dollar judgment to Carol. And I don't see what social value exists in exploiting the fact of people's celebrities to create fake pornography of them, or to do other kinds of things like create fake images of say a political candidate engaging in behavior or speech they did not engage in, and allowing that to go viral before the truth is revealed.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you could make a really unflattering editorial cartoon about a political candidate that's false and misleading, and
but that's not representing
speech.
But that's not representing whether or not a person said that or did an action on their own. It's one thing for me to say, go out into the world and say, hey, Robbie kicked a dog.
Yeah.
And then you can say, no, I didn't. You have no proof. And then I have to defend my assertion. It's a very different thing for me to create a video of you kicking a dog, and all you can say is, that's fake. And as technology gets better and better, and you're unable to use technology to prove that you didn't actually do the thing, that's a really Twilight Zone kind of a 1984 world to be in. Who would you believe, me or your lying eyes? Well, my eyes are showing me a picture of you kicking a dog. Is that kind of the kind of speech that should be protected? What
well,
is the
then maybe
social
I could
value
sue
of
that person for fraud.
You have to be able to prove it.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, so far, I think people can still easily tell whether it's their fake images. Most people can, at least. And I would be extremely. I mean, it's one thing if your images are stolen, they're taken from you without your permission or released without your consent. That's because they are your images. But I mean, it starts to get philosophical. If it's not actually an image of you, no matter how accurate and realistic it might look, it's not you. It's what ownership can you have over it if it just looks like you?
Well, people think that they have a right to their own face.
Yeah, but it's not. But what if I painted a very realistic picture of someone? It's my painting of you. It's not. It's I created it. It's not actually you. I don't know. These are going to be questions to work out, I guess.
I don't know. I think this is a pretty clear one morally. If you can't articulate a social benefit to the existence of that sort of a thing, then I don't understand why we should be rushing to protect
but that's not how. I mean, our First Amendment doesn't work that way. It's not you have to articulate a moral benefit to having a piece of content or speech or artistic expression. It's that the government has to have a overridingly compelling reason for it to be not be
I thought it goes without
allowed.
Saying that the downsides of making porn about somebody are evident. The same with the downsides of inciting people to violence are very evident.
Well, I guess we'll have to have new standards. We'll see what the court decides, but I don't know. More Rising right after this.